for the European Union at its headquarters in Brussels. And I am here to tell you a little about the way that we are showcasing what Europe can offer you in terms of study opportunities or academic career opportunities. We do this through a number of higher education fairs like today's event and through our Study in Europe activities. So what I want to make sure is that you have a full picture of the landscape of study opportunities that awaits you here in Europe. And also I'm going to say a little bit about the way that the EU can fund scholarship opportunities for students from ASEAN countries. So let's start by talking a little bit about the world's most popular study abroad destination. It is Europe. Obviously, the last 2 years have affected the numbers and volume of mobility, but it remains the #1 choice as a region for students. So we'd like you to consider everything about it. Let's consider some of the advantages about studying in Europe. We have 6 selling points, if you like, for what Europe can offer you. Let's go through them one by one. We have quality. So Europe has an agreed system. Countries have agreed to adopt similar structures and systems for higher education. With this 3-cycle system, they've agreed on what constitutes a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD. European countries have, over the last years and still today, worked very closely together to align their systems. So it means that if you come to Europe, it's easy to move and to share teaching and learning between one country and another. We are launching a big project called the European Strategy for Universities that's actually a rethink of how higher education can be more effective, play a better role in society, at the workplace, and we increase effectiveness, digitalization, the green credentials of universities. All this work is going on in the European higher education landscape. Another aspect of this framework that we built, there's a framework for qualification recognition. So there are clear clear criteria about what constitutes recognition, and all these are agreed and assimilated across Europe. And of course, that means that European universities feature highly in rankings. But we'd like you to consider all of the range. I'm sure you'll be aware of some of the countries that are bigger or that have perhaps a more outreach, but it's not all about Germany, France, the Netherlands. Also remember that there are other smaller countries which you may hear less about, but they nevertheless have a long-standing, high-quality reputation for higher education. So look at the countries that maybe are new to you: Lithuania, the Czech Republic, Portugal, and look at the range of programs, because there are a lot of programs in terms of academic disciplines, in terms of volume. We host 2.5 million international students in Europe every year, and in fact, of those international students, more than half come from outside Europe. So we have the range, we have the capacity, and we have that international profile. So when you come to Europe, you'll often be studying not only with local students, but with students from other countries too. This international experience is increasingly recognized as increasingly important by employers. So if you have a study period abroad, that shows that you've gained not only the academic expertise, but a range of international skills which are very highly rated at the workplace. And I think also employers recognize the mix of practical and theory that makes up European higher education programs. They often involve at the workplace learning or traineeships. So they are clear steps up on the ladder to your initial career or to continuing your career if you're already started it. This means we've got, universities and the higher education ministries attach great importance to the student. It's student centered, let's put it that way. So we have clear, simple administrative procedures. The healthcare systems are set up are geared to students, and you have a whole range of services and buddies awaiting you when you come to Europe to help you. I don't probably need to say, I don't need to do the work of the tourism boards, but there is an amazing cultural heritage that you can see where you're studying and where you can travel around to visit nearby cultural sites, cultural activities, or to do your tour of Europe. This doesn't mean, however, that European higher education is expensive, and don't necessarily make that link between high price and high quality. I think the fact that there's a lot of state investment in higher education in Europe means that you'll see a price differential. That doesn't mean it's lower quality. That means that it's just more embedded in the range of services that that countries offer to students. So you have some countries where higher education is virtually free of charge. So that's a sort of picture of the landscape awaiting you. Go and have a look at the different university exhibitors, the different country exhibitors, and you'll get a better feel for how that translates into what those universities can offer you. But I mentioned before the European Union. The European Union is funding today's fair, but it also funds a program called Erasmus Plus. This is a program that supports education, but a range of other policy areas, training, support for young people, for sport. But it operates through providing funding for different programs, for different projects, and for scholarships for individuals. And these scholarships traditionally have been for European students, but for a number of years there has been an important international dimension. So these opportunities that I'm going to talk about are open to students from ASEAN countries. And there are two sorts. One is what we call international credit mobility. These are short-term study periods as part of your degree that you would undertake in Europe, and you would come back to complete your degree at home. Or we have full degree programs at master's level called Erasmus Mundus, joint master degrees, which offer EU-funded scholarships. So a quick introduction to those. So international credit mobility is based on an agreement between a university in Vietnam or in Indonesia or in Cambodia and a university in France, Sweden, Greece or Poland, for example. And they together agree to use European Union funding to send their students to their partner universities and to host students from their partner universities. So this is imagine you are studying architecture at home. You would be able to go to a partner university of your home university to study architecture for a semester in Europe. Now, this works at bachelor's, master level. It also works for doctoral candidates. And we're talking about study periods of 2 to 12 months. Generally, it's a semester, half an academic year. These opportunities are also available for staff. Now, the important thing to bear in mind is that these opportunities are only available if your university where you are currently studying has an agreement with a university in Europe. So check with your international relations office to see if it has these agreements, and if so, where they send students and in what faculties, which study programs are open. That's one sort of scholarship. That scholarship pays for your travel to Europe and your living costs while you're there. The fees are waived, so that the two partners agree they will not charge fees to mobile students. Erasmus Mundus master's degrees are something different. That is a mini trip around Europe, in a sense. It's a 2-year full degree program at master's level, but it's offered by a consortium of universities. You see that on the visual, 3 or more universities all offering parts of the course, and a student will travel between at least 2 universities, often 3 or more universities. There, these programs offer full scholarships which cover the cost of taking part in the program, the fees. It will bring you to Europe. It will cover the cost of traveling between the different universities as well. And like the previous program, it has a contribution to living costs. So that's a competitive process. Anyone can apply. It doesn't matter which university you are currently with. You can also return to the academic world after a period of work. And the best ranked applicants will get the scholarships. This next selection, we have about 150 of these programs. These are all in a catalogue. So the time to look at these programs is now. Have a look at them, but the time to apply will be in the last quarter of the year, or the first months of next year. So late 2022, early 2023 for programs that are starting in September 2023. This is the catalogue. So just look at Erasmus Mundus catalogue, and that will take you to a list of all the programs that are open. This catalogue will incidentally be updated later, around September, to include some new programs that we're currently selecting. So 2 sorts of scholarships. One, if your university already has a partnership. The other, open to students from all over the world. I think I've taken enough time to present these now. I hope that you'll have a good look at the opportunities. Take a step back, look at this landscape that we've been through today, and I hope that you will make the decision to pursue your international study and academic career in Europe, and that we'll see you soon. So thank you very much for your attention, and enjoy the fair.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to all our audience today, wherever you are. We are delighted to welcoming you in the Erasmus Plus webinar. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Destriani. I'm a program manager at the delegation of the European Union to Indonesia and Brunei Darussalam. So you have just watched the presentation, the recorded presentation from my colleague Adrian Viel. He is the policy officer from DG Education, Youth and Culture of the European Commission in Brussels. So we are very grateful for his presentation. And then for your information, Erasmus Plus program is the higher education program funded by the European Union. Now we have around 14 minutes for question and answer. We will respond to your questions on the chat box, but I'm not here alone in this virtual room. And allow me to introduce to you two Erasmus awardee and alumni. First is we have Alfie Mohayat Shah. Alfie is an alumnus of Erasmus scholarships, and he is currently working in the EU delegation in Jakarta as an intern. We are very grateful to have his contribution to the delegation. And another one, we have Benhard Manulang. Benhard is Erasmus awardee 2022 this year, so he will soon depart to Europe. So before we are responding to your question, I would like to ask first Alfie to introduce yourself to the audience, and perhaps you could explain what was your study experience under the Erasmus Plus program. Alfie, the screen is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Destri. Hello, everybody. I am Alfie Muhayyad. You can call me Alfie. I was an exchange student in Erasmus Plus back then in 2019, before the pandemic hits. And it was an amazing experience for one semester. Since I stayed in a rural, it's a small town. Yeah, and it consists of many international students. So not only French student, because I was in France, but also from Mexico and then from UK, Belgium, and so on. So that we can build a really international exposure in the classroom, and it's an enjoyable moment for me. Yeah, and then after that, I can build a connection between the Erasmus student also. And currently, I'm kind of making my personal project with them, so that the connection of the Erasmus student is very important after we graduate from the program also. So it's beneficial. Yeah, I think that's a small introduction from my side. Yeah, thank you. I offer to you, Budestri.
Thank you very much, Alfie. So it's great to know your previous study experience. Now the screen goes to Benhard Manulang. Please introduce yourself and what will you study in Europe? What the name of your Erasmus master course? Over to you, Benhard.
Okay, thank you, Budestri, for the opportunity. So, hello, everybody. My name is Benhard Manulang. You can call me Ben. So, I'm from Indonesia. So, I will fly to Europe. Actually, my first countries will be in Italy. And my program name is Sustainable Ship and Shipping 4.0. So, my second country will be Spain. And then in the third semester, I will move whether either in Italy or in Spain or in German or maybe in Croatia. It depends on my thesis title. So feel free to, if you want to ask something, feel free to ask us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. That sounds exciting. That is the advantages of having the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree, that awardee will be able to study from one country to the other. Let's start responding to the questions from the audience. The first question is that from Mariel Guevara. Are there Erasmus scholarship for PhD level students? So perhaps I can answer this question. The first question, for the PhD opportunity, the European Union provide grants for the PhD and postdoctoral degree, and that is under the European Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe now. So everyone can check the website of Euraccess in Asia to be able to know the opportunity for the PhD scholarships as well as the postdoctoral. Okay, now we go to the second question from Hazima. When does the application open for masters usually? So maybe this goes to Bernard. Bernard, please.
Okay, thank you for the question, Hazima. So actually, the opening section of the Erasmus program will be in September or October in every year. So it means that, but you need to check because some of programs have their own timeline. It means that maybe in the whole timeline, it will be in the September, October, but you need to check your favorite program, and then you need to check the timeline in the website as well. Thank you. Hope that's help you, Azima.
Thank you very much, Bernard. And for Mas Alfi, can you explain when is usually the student exchange program for short term is open? Short question, thank you. A short answer, thank you.
Yeah, my program back then was an exchange student in my bachelor's degree. So usually in Indonesia, the university to university cooperation is open twice in a year for the fall and spring semester. Yeah, so that we need to prepare such as September and until November for the next spring, for instance, and then yeah, the other way around, 2 until 3 months before the short-term exchange, because this is kind of a different from the master's or doctoral. If master's and doctoral, we need to prepare a year in advance, but for the short-term exchange, we can prepare a semester before. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mas Alfi. For audience, what you have to pay attention is that for the short-term exchange, your university must have collaboration with the university in Europe. Okay, let's go for the third question from Condro. Are there a postdoctoral program funded by the Erasmus? There is a postdoctoral program funded by the European Union, but not under the Erasmus Plus program. For all doctoral and postdoctoral is funded under the Horizon Europe, and particularly for Mari Sklodowska-Curie Action. Okay, so you can open later on the website for Horizon Europe and Mari Sklodowska-Curie Action. And then question number 4 from Kevin. When application is open, where should I apply to university or Erasmus directly? And so maybe then Mas Bernhard can explain about the response. Mas Alfi, if you don't mind, maybe to put the link for the Erasmus catalog on the chat box, on the live chat, or we can give it later. Yeah, please, Bernhard.
Yeah, so okay, thank you, Budestri. So actually, if you open the catalog, Erasmus catalog, there's only like a list of the programs, like under 150 programs, and then you must visit directly the consortium website. There in the consortium website, there will be a requirement and the documents that you need to be prepared, and then you can submit it through the consortium website. So that's the thing, because I would like to make it bright. It means that you don't apply into the catalog, but you will apply that to the consortium website. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernhard. So we can go to question number 5 from Rahmawati. When the catalog will be updated for next enrollment? So this maybe I can answer. Every year, the European Commission have a call for proposal for a consortium of universities to apply for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master. So usually it is updated at the beginning of the year, but you don't need to worry about it because it will be automatically updated in the catalog. Thank you. So question number 6 is from Tanwi Hijan. As far as I understand, Erasmus Plus chose the candidate by academic achievements. Could you give me some recommendations on how to improve this based on your experience? So maybe this question goes to both of you, to Bernhard and Alfi. What do you think that student or applicant could improve their achievement, academic achievement, to be able to successfully apply for the scholarship? Maybe to Alfi first, just short answer, and then goes to Bernhard. Alfi, screen is yours.
Yeah, okay. For Mr. Tan Buiswan, for my exchange in the bachelor's, sometimes the campus requested to submit the CV so that we are competitively selected by our university colleagues. So whereas the master's program is selected around the world, like from everybody around the world. Yeah, so that it can be selected from our CV, such as the competition and then the conferences that I also input in my CV and something like that. But the main point is also the motivation letter. Why are we going to study in Europe? Yeah. And how about you, Bernard?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Alfie, for the first for the opening. Yeah, actually, the CV and the recommendation letter and the motivation letter is a good thing to be prepared. And then another thing I would like to explain is about your GPA, because as based on my experience, the GPA is 30% of the requirement. It means that the rest of it maybe like a motivation letter and then the referral letter on also with the interview session. But please check the requirement of your program, your favorite program, because it's depend it's vary between the programs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. So I hope that clarified the question. Now we can go to a question from Haru. The question is, are there any additional fees?
3 minutes left.
Prepare even when you get the scholarships? Is there any additional fees you need to prepare? Okay, so in general, for Erasmus scholarship, Erasmus Mundus Joint Master, or International Credit Mobility, everything is fully covered by the EU through the Erasmus scholarships. So students does not have to pay additional fees. What they will have to prepare, for example, like Bernard and maybe Alfie also, the ticket will have to be paid first by the students and awardees. So they will get them the transportation cost once they arrive in Europe. So that is the only thing. Maybe another thing also, then you will have to prepare for the first month for the allowance. So maybe before you get your bank account, so you will have to have some money. So maybe one more question, and this will be the last one. Do you have a representative office in Jakarta? If yes, where? We do have the EU delegation in Jakarta and our office in Menara Astra, but we don't have that many personnel at this stage. But you can always follow our Instagram, uni_Eropa, or EU and ASEAN, Erasmus Plus as well. Then you can see where we will have this public event like this. So before I end this question and answer, we would like to thank both awardees and alumni, Bernard and Alfie, for their time and contribution. I would like to ask all the audience who are interested to talk to our alumni to visit our booth, and we will open the live chat at 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock today. So see you everyone at our booth to have the live chat. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.